Okay. So The Force Awakens whacked Han Solo and basically showed Chewbacca to be a disloyal friend of whoever is in the pilot seat of the Millennial Falcon. So that's 2 down. In The Last Jedi, Luke Skywalker was shown to be a quitter who lived alone on an island, having abandoned his friends and his purpose, who, when the symbol of his male virility was handed to him, tossed it over his shoulder and began to suck on the teat of a giant sea monster, and then he died. And in the third movie, I guess the plan, if the apparent agenda of Disney Star Wars was to disgrace every last remnant of George Lucas's original trilogy, one by one, I think that the third movie should have disgraced Princess Leia. Now there's a caveat. Is it possible that Princess Leia would get spared just because she's a powerful female role model? We can argue about that. I would say they've replaced Princess Leia with female characters who have 0 flaws, and she does have flaws. So unfortunately, their agenda came to a screeching halt when Carrie Fisher passed on suddenly, and without having filmed any of Episode 9. Episode 9 was already written to include Princess Leia's graceful departure from the franchise. Now what are they going to do? Who else do they have to disgrace from the original trilogy? Jabba the Hutt's dead, Darth Vader's dead. R2-D2 and C-3PO basically disgrace themselves in every movie they're in, including the original trilogy. So what do we do now? Oh no. Oh yes.
Hello, I started this gangster shit. Mr. Thanks, I'm good. Hello, I started this gangster shit.
So Yoda set to make comeback in Star Wars Episode 9 to, quote, acknowledge, quote unquote, Rey's success as a Jedi, unquote, unquote, unquote. Written by, of course. Yeah. So this is the thing. A lot of people say, what makes Star Wars SJW? Comic Artist Pro Secrets, we're enjoying your videos, but you're saying that Star Wars is SJW. It isn't SJW. Why? Just because they have strong female characters in there now? No, that's not why. There's a certain trope that SJWs all use when they take over any kind of entertainment franchise, and that is to basically introduce new, flawless Mary Sue characters who are basically constantly validated by the original franchise's heroes. And those heroes, I mean, even characters like Yoda, will be used solely to acknowledge Rey, who is a Mary Sue and a brand new character, flawless. Picked up the Force effortlessly. There is no discipline. It's just, she's magical because she's a she, I guess. I don't know. And Yoda is being used now, this guy, highly critical of Luke Skywalker, highly critical of Anakin Skywalker, but he's coming back in Episode 9 to acknowledge Rey's success as a Jedi. Yeah, that's terrific. Yeah, Yoda is set to return as a Force ghost. Let's read some of this. Yoda is set to make a comeback in Star Wars Episode 9, and excited we are. Okay. Abigail, you have to speak for yourself. I don't know who you're speaking for. Maybe someone. Are you guys excited for Yoda's return in Episode 9? Was there a movie that Yoda wasn't in, besides A New Hope? The 900-year-old Jedi Master will be making his return in the form of a Force ghost in order to mentor Daisy Ridley's character Rey. 2 things. Force ghost. This is now a thing. This is now a phrase that gets used over and over and over again because nothing really matters. It's all silly. There's no mysticism. There's nothing that's strange or wondrous. The Force now has rules that can be defined very, very clearly. There is no spiritual aspect to it. If you die, you just come back as the same version of yourself if you're willing to participate in Disney Star Wars, except now you're transparent. All right, the second thing, mentor Daisy Ridley's character Rey. For what? For what? What does she need? What does she need? She can make the Millennial Falcon do backflips, and she's never flown before. She can, basically, if she were alive, she'd sever Darth Vader's spinal column. Never picked up a lightsaber. She does not need Yoda. I think she's better than Yoda. She's clearly better than Yoda. She should be training Yoda's ghost, frankly. And I'll bet that does happen. Wouldn't that be a nice moment where, like, Rey teaches Yoda something, and Yoda's like, I never thought of that before. You'd be like, that would be amazing. And I'm sure something like that will happen. Yoda died during episode 6, Return of the Jedi, but reappeared as a Jedi Force spirit alongside Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, and has since featured in The Last Jedi. An insider spoke about the character and revealed that his return was a huge success. It was weird. Speaking to the New York Daily News newspaper, they said, the success of the scenes featuring Yoda in The Last Jedi were huge. Yoda will appear as a ghost as he acknowledges Rey's success and growth as a Jedi. The scenes are due to be put together later this year. Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, basically, this is what you need to get excited about. They tried to brag that, like, Finn and Rey were going to be together again in episode 9, and nobody cared. They've killed off everyone. They've disgraced and killed off every single cast member of George Lucas's original trilogy in a vain effort to pump up and promote their own creations, which are stale, boring, flat, two-dimensional, bland tropes, SJW tropes. And so now they're using the last vestige. Hey, Yoda's a puppet. He can never really die. Unfortunately, Frank Oz, who does his voice, could. Grover on Sesame Street is sounding a little rough lately. Pray for Frank Oz. But listen, Frank Oz, you don't have to do this. You can bow out too. Talk to your friend Mark Hamill. And behind the scenes clips, Mark Hamill, who plays Luke Skywalker, can be seen getting emotional when Yoda is brought back to life. God bless you, Mark. Turning to filmmaker, quote-unquote, filmmaker Ryan Johnson, he said, oh my God, it's really getting to me. I'm still jealous he hasn't aged a day. Oh, it was a great scene. Remember this? Yeah. It makes me wonder if the puppeteer had to be down near Luke Skywalker's butt the entire time, though. That must have been weird. The return of Yoda may also see the return of Luke as a Force spirit who could come back, and apparently he probably will, because you guys are all telling me that Mark Hamill is under contract to be in all 3 movies, so whether he likes it or not, his ghost may be disturbed from its eternal slumber to appear in another terrible Star Wars movie at the behest of Kathleen Kennedy. That remains to be seen. Who could come back to mentor Rey? Or could he even return to help his original pupil train Kylo Ren? I don't know. In The Last Jedi, Yoda tells Luke that Rey has everything she already needs, knowing that she had already taken the ancient Jedi text before the Force tree had burned down. As Rey's training was left incomplete, it would only be right for one of her past friends to pay her a visit. She doesn't need it. She's better than the Force. I think in Episode 9, Rey should train the Force. Teach the Force to be better at binding us together. Though we won't hold our breath too much, as Hamill has recently revealed that it is time for him to move on from Star Wars. In an interview with Games Radar, he confessed that without the opportunity to work with Harrison Ford or Carrie Fisher, he doesn't share the same passion he once had. Yeah, it's peer pressure. There's got to be a little bit of peer pressure. Like, both of them probably said this really sucks. The 66-year-old confessed, I haven't really thought about Episode 9 because there's such a sense of closure. He's like, it's done, it's over, we did it. Luke's story is told, what more can I do? What more can I do? And you have to start disconnecting from it emotionally. It is like it's a divorce. If you've been through a divorce, you know the process that Luke is going through right now. The main thing that shocked me in The Force Awakens was, Han Solo is killed! Exclamation point. I'll never get to work with Harrison again. Untrue. I think it's possible that you could be in Indiana Jones 5. What do you think of that? You could play a character, maybe somebody at the college, the university that Indiana Jones works at. I think that would be terrific and a nice way to work with your friend again. He added, and then to lose Carrie in real life, he said, that's it, you can never go home again, and that for me was the real indication that it's time to move on. While Yoda is set to appear in the film, sources revealed that Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia will not be digitally revived. And confessed that her scenes in The Last Jedi were filmed before the actress had died in 2016. Dear me, I really hope that's the case. Yeah, wait, let me read that again just to make sure that I read that right. Sources revealed that Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia will not be digitally revived. But first of all, I don't know why not. I think Tupac Shakur's digital revival was a stunning success. And confessed that her scenes in The Last Jedi were filmed before the actress had died in 2016. All right, so that's reassuring. Force ghosts aren't real things. If you've got a story, video, or pictures, get in touch with metrocode.uk entertainment team, and let them know that it's important that any movies that are made starring actors or actresses have to be filmed before they die. That is an unfortunate reality, behind the scenes kind of insider tip about filmmaking from Abigail Gillibrand. All right, so on we go. Bye, Yoda. And let's just acknowledge our wonderful Patreon backers for the month of April. Thank you so much for your pledges and your support. This channel couldn't exist, couldn't go on without your donations, and I just want to humbly say thank you. I do hope you are enjoying the content. If you have any requests or concerns, absolutely leave them in the comments below. Those of you who have not pledged yet and would like to, there should be a link in the description. $1 or more per month really, really helps. Thank you so much.